Hello, and welcome to School Health Presents Understanding the American Rescue Plan, ESSER, and Current Funding. I'm Dr. Ray Hype. This video will be promoting ideas to be used by purchasing agents, health services folks, including our school nurses, facilities directors, emergency preparedness folks, coaching, and sports medicine professionals. So as we start taking a look at how this can be used, there are a couple of points I definitely want to bring up so that you're aware of. First and foremost, when it comes to the overall health of our individuals, PPE, sanitization, and air purifiers are all covered by this type of funding. What do I mean by PPE? Well, it's not just masks. We're talking gloves, we're talking gowns, we're talking face shields, we're talking things that are going to help prevent transmission going back and forth. And so we want to be able to get enough of what we need to have it available for our students, our faculty, our staff, and I've seen some districts actually purchasing this and using it for parents or fans coming into games or other types of school events too, so that everyone is able to be masked when they're required to be masked. And so what you want to do is understand that all of this can be used. Sanitizing agents are going to include anything that is going to allow for the cleanliness of the classrooms, of lunchrooms, of other rooms and areas that our students, our teachers, anyone who's coming into our buildings may be involved in. We want to make sure that we keep everything up to date and as clean and pure as possible. We're also going to talk about air purifiers to a much greater degree. But one thing that I want to really call your attention to is letter H there, where it talks about training and professional development for staff for sanitization and minimizing the spread of all infectious diseases. Many of us have come from a day and age where we knew we would have to see the bloodborne pathogens video as we walked in at the beginning of any academic year. But now school nurses, you are able to expand that training. You're able to talk about so many different things. And on the health services side, that's important because now that training can be funded through the American Rescue Plan and ESSER funds. So let's move on when it comes to some of the specifics about what you'll be dealing with. I want to move down to letter P first because that's where we talk about inspection, testing, maintenance, repair, replacement, and upgrade projects to improve indoor air quality. Now, that's not just going to be some large scale type of air purification system, although it can be. This is also for some of the smaller air purification units that you might be bringing around. Why do I bring that up? Well, I think about units like the Celios G200. It's an excellent unit because it's very portable and is still going to really provide a nice bubble of purified air that's going to take up almost 300 square feet. And so what we want to recognize is having something like that in an office, or for you coaches and athletic trainers, having it in the training room, having it in a locker room, maybe that you're visiting another school, whether it be for basketball or volleyball, you're in that building, you can bring your own air purification system with you. And that is going to be covered by these funds. Another thing you want to be aware of, some of you athletic trainers, you have tents. And if a player gets injured, let's say a young lady gets injured on the field hockey field and needs to come into a training tent, now you can also have one of these air purification systems in that tent too. And again, it's covered by these funds. What you also want to recognize is, as we go up to letter O, school facility repairs and improvements to enable operation of schools. And most schools in districts get stuck here to reduce the risk of virus transmission and exposure to environmental health hazards. They don't go on to the next little bit because they start thinking in mind, oh, the pandemic, and that's it. That's not true. It also adds to support student health needs. And this is where I've had some districts and some campuses really focus on AEDs. Why? Because we want to make sure that our students are protected from any health issue that may come up. And AEDs right now really an important feature to have in all of our schools. In many of our states, they're actual law that you have to have them there. So this funding will cover those AEDs, and it will also cover things like AED programs, software programs that let you know how long you've had your AED and whether or not your batteries and pads need to be replaced. So as you're taking a look at funding, no matter what area you're in, you can be using your funds for AEDs, for air purifiers. You can be using it again for PPE and sanitization. You can be using it for any supplies that are going to support the overall health and well-being of our students, whether they're in the classroom, on the athletic field, or at any other events that the school is sponsoring along the way. If you do have any questions, please reach out to your school health rep, and they'll be more than happy to address them with you. If you have other questions for me, please feel free to ask. And as always, I look forward to seeing all of you somewhere down the road.